certain man lame from his mother's womb was carried, whom they laid daily at the gate of the temple, which is called Beautiful, to us alms for those who entered the temple. Okay, here we see this guy is absolutely focused on the building. He has been there for 40 years at least, and he has developed a dependency on the externals, right? The fact that he would keep going back there tells us that he was getting what he needed, but not what he really needed. You could say this man was planted, but he sure wasn't flourishing, couldn't even stand. So what does that tell us? The evidence on the face of this guy's life tells us there was no greater committed one, but he had a fundamental lameness in his life that could only be healed in a certain way. The temple, which is called Beautiful, what does that tell us? It had a tremendous appeal to the sense-led Christian. Beautiful. Man, that's beautiful. Wow, that's beautiful. It's got all the bells and whistles. What a beautiful building. Nothing wrong with beautiful buildings, but listen what I'm saying is where the faith is starting to get attached itself. Wow, man, that window is so well dressed. There must be God in that building. He had such a good social arm, he was totally dependent on it. Total dependency, spiritual dependency. Wow, straight off intergenerational political dependency into intergenerational spiritual dependency. Which one's worse? I don't know. Both are lame. But we love it. We love to latch on to the stuff we can see. Makes us feel secure. Makes us feel good. Yeah, I did the 10-step program. God loves me today. Yeah, what about next week? Because we just rolled out another program. Have you done it? It'll take you to the next level, brother. From glory to glory. Glory program 25. Only cost you $25 a session. What's this all about? None of those things are wrong. Hear me, please. There is nothing wrong with beautiful, so long as the beautiful you see is the one who is in you. All right? At the point that beautiful on the outside gets elevated above beautiful on the inside, you, my friend, are carnal. You have joined the sense-led church. And that church has been around forever. There's something to be said at this point about church culture, and I want to say it. Has it become the modern-day golden calf? Have we made the church we can see the idol? Easy to happen. Why do you think that Peter was so moved to have to say, don't look at us as if we did this? As if we did this? Come on. Fix your eyes on Jesus, is what he was saying, and he was going to start saying it a heck of a lot more. Like I said, we find security in the structure and in the system. I want to show you a parallel. You realize that mainstream education was all formed out of industrialization, the idea that we just need to create people, the masses, for the factory floor. So they created a testing system to work out where you were at. And we would educate children that would comply and conform, perform the menial tasks. And they would find safety and security in the land of average, meanwhile the elite are creaming it. And so a whole education system that literally trained people out of creativity, the God instincts within them, to be completely carnal. If I can't see it, I can't believe it. I want to tell you a story that I think will reinforce the point. Gillian Lynne. Who's heard of Gillian Lynne? Probably nearly nobody. Because she was around in the 1930s. Gillian was 7 years old at school. Couldn't sit still. Rebellious kid, Gillian. Wouldn't listen. Wouldn't do the homework. Couldn't sit still in class, Gillian. Teachers were absolutely beside themselves with Gillian's performance at school. She got all the bad grades. In fact, they were at the point where saying, listen, please don't send her back. Mum, absolutely distraught. Takes Gillian to a specialist. Sits down, explains, puts little beautiful Gillian, 7 years old, in a big seat used to analyse adult people. Explains Gillian's behaviour at school, and he's sitting there and he's watching Gillian the whole time. And he says, you know what, Gillian, do you mind if me and Mum just go outside and have a little bit of a chat? Gillian sits there, shrugs his shoulders. Well, yeah, I suppose. As he's about to leave his office, he turns on the radio, steps outside the door with Mum, closes the door, stands behind the blinds of the window and watches secretly inside this room where Gillian now sits alone with the radio on. Gillian instantly gets up on her feet and starts moving. They'd never seen anything like it. Graceful, beautiful dancer, had never been taught, just did it. There's nothing wrong with your daughter, the specialist said. She's a dancer. Enroll her in dance school. That's what Mum did. Gillian went to dance school, and guess what she found out? There was a whole lot of other people just like her. They had to move to think. Gillian starts growing. She graduates from the London Dancing Academy of Dance and Ballet. Gillian went on to choreograph some of the greatest performances that have ever been seen. Cats is one of them. You would have heard of that, Phantom of the Opera. When that was translated into dance, she was the one who choreographed it. Wow. When she graduated, she formed her own dance company, produced some of the greatest dancers this world has ever seen, made millions of dollars, did Gillian. Didn't fit the mainstream system, though. They called her a problem child. What's your point, Mr. Lewis? I think mainstream religion does exactly the same thing. If you don't fit in the box of what we say as a Christian, my friend, then sorry, we have to put you on the outside. Unless you find your place as an apostle, prophet, teacher, pastor, reverend, bishop, priest, this, that, and the other, evangelist, usher, door greeter, car parker, singer, drummer, guitarist. If you don't find your place in there, just give us your tithe and we'll take care of the kingdom stuff. So the Christians that don't conform, the ones who won't go on the factory floor, we put on the outside. Not realizing that so much of that, for freedom, Christ set you free. He did not set you free for you to be educated out of the faith of Jesus Christ that is within you.